Hey, what's up, people? Anshul here, back with another video after a pretty long time. So, Android Nougat finally arrived on my Galaxy S7 Edge, which I've been using as my sole daily driver for more than 9 months. And I thought it would be worth taking another look at the S7 Edge and how it has stood the test of time. Now, one thing I want to make clear right now is that this video is not going to be the one where I may convince you to buy an S7 Edge. It's mainly because this time, basically the time between February and May, is not a good time to buy a flagship smartphone. Just think about it. We'll have the latest offerings from the likes of Samsung, HTC, and LG releasing, and at the same time, all the flagship offerings like the iPhone, Pixel, and even this S7 Edge will be available for a lesser price. Now, what you should see this video as is some sort of a yearly report card for Samsung. Because in the time I've been using this phone, I've had both good and bad experiences. Like I even managed to break the screen that one time. I'll try to give you guys a fair idea of how the S7 Edge with its current pricing and updates stands against the rest of the 2016 flagships, while also busting some misconceptions along the way. So, let's get started. And it all begins with the design. While design is considered to be something subjective, since what someone sees well designed can be seen as bad by another, there is a distinct difference between a great design and a good one. This is the case for the S7 Edge as well. While the dual edge design looks striking and mesmerizing, it also has a clear purpose. When I was looking to buy a new phone in May of 2016, I was looking at the iPhone 6s and the S7 as my prime candidates. I did go to the shop once to try out the phones, which you should as well, especially if you're spending this much on a phone. There I saw the S7 Edge, and it was quite smaller than I thought it would be. I mean, you see all these crispy 4K macro shots of the edge up close, and you imagine that it would be one of those giant phablets, but it's not. And this is the main reason of having an edge-to-edge display. You get a larger screen in a body that is still manageable by one hand. And the design train doesn't stop there either. You get all the necessary ports and jacks and still have an IP68 phone. Now, some of you might be thinking that the iPhone 7 with an IP67 rating can survive 30 feet underwater, while the Galaxy can't, after seeing that Everything Apple Pro video, right? I'm going to leave Austin's video right here, where the iPhone 7 couldn't even properly survive 3 minutes in a fishbowl. The whole point of an IP rating is the peace of mind you get when you're using your phone, especially in the rain or near a pool. This is most probably an isolated incident, but consistency is key here. If you go back to Everything Apple Pro's test, you'll also see that his Galaxy S7s consistently survive more than 25 feet underwater, which is already way more than the specification of the IP68 rating. And then we have the buttons, which are superbly tactile, enough to press them even while in your pockets, where the power button isn't directly opposite to the volume rocker, which is important especially for large screen phones. There is no camera hump on the glass back of the phone that allows for wireless charging, and we also get a removable SIM tray that can either hold 2 SIMs, #Geo, or an external SD card to expand your storage. But the design ain't perfect either. The speaker placement isn't good, the home button scratches quite easily, mine isn't because I had my screen replaced, the back of the phone becomes a smudge fest, which is why I have a skin on mine, and the glass isn't shatter resistant, which becomes more and more important when a phone is mostly made out of glass. Stereo speakers and Gorilla Glass 5 in the next Galaxy should help fix these issues. Long story short, this is the best display on a smartphone right now. The 1440p Super AMOLED display is super bright, super sharp, super vivid, and color accurate at the same time. Wait a minute, did I just describe those hyper saturated Samsung AMOLED displays as color accurate? Well, yes I did. Now we all know the most color accurate screens are the ones of the iPhone 7 and the 7 Plus. But before they were released, do you know which phone had the most color accurate displays in the market? Hint, it's not the iPhone 6s. Well, since you're already watching this video, yes, it's the Galaxy S7's display. Quoting DisplayMate, quote, "The AMOLED photo screen mode on the Galaxy S7 provides a very accurate calibration to the Adobe RGB standard, which is rarely available in consumer displays and is very useful for high-end digital photography and other advanced imaging applications." End quote. The Galaxy S7 contains various screen modes and defaults to the adaptive display mode, which dynamically adjusts images and videos based on the content and the surrounding ambient light. While this mode is pretty awesome, especially for using the display outdoors in high ambient light, for the times when you do need color accuracy, AMOLED photo mode is the way to go, giving you near 100% accurate coverage of the Adobe RGB space. There is also the cinema mode for saturated colors, like when you're watching Game of Thrones, or a basic mode which tunes the colors down a bit so it feels easier on your eyes. Another thing that I liked about the display is its auto brightness mode. The Galaxy S7 has the best brightness management on any phone in the world. You know why? Because it's personalized. The S7 in auto brightness mode remembers those few times you interacted with the brightness slider at various ambient light levels and provides a highly personal brightness variation that no factory software can emulate. Plus, the display can vary its brightness anywhere from 2 nits to more than 850 frickin' nits in auto brightness mode, which makes the S7's display the most legible one whether you're in complete darkness or in bright outdoor light. It simply works. And did I talk about its VR capabilities? Oh my god, you know what? That can be an entire video of its own, so I'll leave a link to a great video I found in the description for the people who are interested. The battery. Incoming explosion jokes, am I right? So we all know in great detail, thanks to Samsung themselves, about what happened with the Galaxy Note 7. But where does it leave the Galaxy S7 Edge? Well, I'm gonna let the numbers speak for themselves. So, at the first position is the Note 7 with about 140 explosions. Okay, guess who's next? No, not the S7 Edge. Or the S7. Well, it's the iPhone 7 with a grand total of 4. Next up, we have the S7 Edge and the iPhone 6s with 3. Then the S7, iPhone 6, 7 and 6 Plus with 2. Followed by iPhone 6s Plus with 1. So basically, the S7 and S7 Edge are about as likely to explode as an iPhone. Okay, here's the thing. That high number of the Note 7, it represents a critical fault of a key system component, the battery in this case. The low numbers here, they represent random manufacturing defects, transit damages and other equally random phenomenon, and maybe user fault as well. It's like winning a super rare lottery where the prize is a third degree burn. My advice, buy your phones from an authorized store and use the adapter and cable in your phone's box while charging for your best chance at not having a phone that explodes. But enough about explosions. Let's talk about the battery life of the Galaxy S7 Edge. The phone is reliable enough to the point where you can keep Wi-Fi, mobile data and GPS on throughout the day and expect about 5 to 5.5 hours of screen on time under medium use. While being very good, this is one area where the S7 Edge isn't industry leading. The iPhone 7 Plus and the Pixel XL do have a better battery life, giving anywhere between 30 minutes to 1 hour more screen on time in various battery tests. Now I can be like every other reviewer and chalk the differences up to the various optimizations found in the iPhone and the Pixel, but then the statement can signify that there are none to be found in the Galaxy, which would be quite the wrong thing to say. Between the various power saving modes that are customizable and the ability to save power on applications that you don't want to run in the background, the S7s is able to add anywhere from 30 minutes to 3 hours more to its battery time without significantly losing performance. Which brings me right to the performance of the S7 Edge. Most of us already know about the brute processing power packed by the Exynos chipset, allowing you to record games while playing them and seamlessly multitask between two apps at a time, which is perfect for playing a YouTube mix in the background while browsing social media or entering a discount code while ordering a pizza online. All these things are awesome and the S7 can pull them off without missing a beat. Now I'm not going to show you benchmarks with the phone soft resetted or some crazy app switching test simply because no one uses their phones like that. I've had this phone as my sole daily driver for more than 9 months, and in that time, I've seen my own share of the occasional lags and stutters, and here are some things that I personally observed. The stutters began to be seen about 3 months after I'd purchased my phone. The phone sometimes felt slow loading apps and games when I'd be using a third party launcher like Nova, Eevee, or Google Now Launcher. So I switched back to Samsung stock launcher and made an effort to find some good minimal themes to fit my preferences. Here are the some which I actually liked. And guess what? The phone actually felt smooth to use again. But to be honest, the S7 Edge is not going to win any performance contest, especially with the iPhone 7, the Pixel and the OnePlus 3T roaming around. While the phone's responsiveness has improved after updating it to Android Nougat, applications still open a bit slower compared to the competition. While the slightly slower app times don't exactly deter the user experience, I mean, who doesn't like a phone that is simply snappy and flows through opening and closing like a bajillion apps without dropping a sweat? I think using UFS 2.0 storage on the next flagship should give Samsung new Grace UI just the super speed that it currently seems to be missing. Coming right into the user interface, I can finally say this. Samsung's UI is modern, it's clean, feels responsive even on an almost year-old phone, and interacts even better with existing features like the always on display, which finally allows you to double tap the notification circle to jump right into the application, and the edge panels, which now give you haptic feedback when you access them. The S7 Edge also has a built-in optimization tool that has become easy to access and interact in Android Nougat. I keep its widget on one of my home screens, but the tool can be accessed from the device maintenance option in the settings menu as well. Typically, in 1 or 2 weeks, I'll use the tool to clean unwanted cache and add data stored by various applications, while also keeping an eye on whether my device is secure and has enough storage left. The new Grace user interface also includes a blue light filter, fixes the issue of apps not ordering themselves automatically, and now comes with a new Samsung Members application that can be accessed anywhere from the UI using the Contact Us option, allowing users to ask questions to community forums, report errors, and get support for using their phone. I also noticed nearly 2 gigabytes of space getting freed up after upgrading to Nougat and saw the RAM consumption increase by about 3 to 400 megabytes. Still, the S7 gives you about 1.5 gigabytes of RAM for apps, games, and multitasking, which is more than enough for my 2 to 3 games and my social media apps chugging along nicely in the background. If you're interested in more features of the S7 or want to know whether those 100 features are even worth it for you, you can check out a great video by Techisode TV, link for which will be in the description below. And then there's the camera. If you were buying a phone in the first half of 2016, the S7 simply had the best camera on any phone. That obviously changed with the release of the Pixel and the iPhone 7. While the iPhone brought Apple's superb image processing to the latest hardware with a 12 megapixel sensor and an f1.8 OIS lens, the Pixel brought various computational photography algorithms made possible by the improved onboard ISP on the Snapdragon 821, resulting in HDR photos that were never seen before and surprisingly good low-light performance for a non-OIS shooter with an f2.0 aperture. This resulted in the Pixel taking the unanimous top spot as the best smartphone camera of 2016, with the iPhone 7 and the Galaxy S7 trailing close behind. Okay, here's the thing. The top 3 smartphones are so close that I can take a photo from one phone, edit it slightly in Instagram and post it as a photo from another phone. Basically, the margin between the phones is small, and the differences that do exist can be easily chalked up to personal preferences in white balance, image saturation, etc. But there are a couple of things that the S7's camera is still the best at. It still focuses on objects ridiculously fast, has awesome RAW capabilities built in, making it easier for people to get the smartphone photos to the next level. And finally, bokeh. Macro bokeh in particular, since the wide-angle lens only shows a shallow depth of field when you get really close to your subject. But when it does, the effects are simply gorgeous. The super wide f1.7 aperture really throws the background out of focus and results in a smooth, organic blur that simply looks good. But there are some things that the S7's camera is not best at either. Portraits are one of them. Now, most of the pictures that I take are of objects, sceneries, and groups of people, but when it comes to taking mono portraits, the S7 falls slightly short because of having a wider sensor. And just in case you're wondering, yes, the iPhone 7 Plus is the best phone out there to do so. I think a dual sensor implementation in the next Galaxy should give the best of both worlds. And the video performance on both the front and the rear camera is right there with the best phones, with stable video, smooth exposure transitions, and crisp details in 1440p and 4K videos. Having an external memory card slot to expand your storage and take as many photos and videos that you want is something that both photographers and videographers can handily appreciate as well. Now let's talk about how the S7 Edge stands against various other flagships in the Indian market. Right now, you can get this 32GB S7 Edge for 51,000 rupees. At that price, the S7 Edge isn't competing against the iPhone 7 Plus or the Pixel XL. Heck, it's not even against the smaller iPhone 7 and the Pixel. At 51,000, the S7 Edge is actually against the 32GB version of the iPhone 6s. And to be honest, that's a fairly easy decision to make. Unless you want Apple's latest and greatest OS along with the fast performance and awesome 3D touch functionality, the S7 Edge is a better phone in every other aspect. You can also get LG's V20 at that price if you want better audio performance with dual camera functionality. Then there's the 128GB Black Pearl version of the S7 Edge for 57,000 rupees that competes directly against the iPhone 7 and the Pixel. And that is actually a pretty balanced fight and can go in anyone's way depending on what your personal preferences are. We also have the hyper premium iPhone 7 Plus and Pixel XL for people who are made of money. And obviously, how can I forget the OnePlus 3T? The only thing that this guy lacks is the camera performance and the waterproof body. In every other aspect, the OnePlus 3T stands against and sometimes even surpasses the competition and simply is the best performing and most value-oriented flagship that the money can buy. And don't worry, I didn't forget the LG G5 or the HTC 10. They are great phones, each with the unique features, and they mostly compete against the smaller S7 at the price point of about 40,000 rupees. Okay, conclusion time. When I got my S7 Edge, my expectation with Samsung was that they should update this to Nougat by the time the S8 is released. Samsung surpassed that minimal expectation of mine and also provided security updates every month along with the updates for the camera, the edge's palm rejection, etc. Now I know that the S7 Edge comes with a boatload of features, which can be daunting, especially to new users, but I'd like to think of the S7 Edge just as any other flagship phone you can buy. An expensive phone which, when you buy it, performs flawlessly without any hiccups and seems like the best phone ever. Where this phone is different is that when the so-called honeymoon phase wears over and you start seeing those random hiccups every once in a while, instead of buying a new phone, the S7 Edge gives you boatload of features to breathe new life into your seemingly old flagship, and also has built-in system tools that help you keep your device optimized and performing smoothly. So I can say one thing for sure, Samsung is improving. The S7 Edge for me represents this paradigm shift in Samsung away from stuffing as many features as you could in a phone to ensuring that it simply just works. It still doesn't make the S7 Edge the best phone ever because there are a few shortcomings that should be addressed in the next Galaxy, but it still doesn't stop the S7 Edge from being a damn fine phone. This was Anshul Gupta and thank you for watching.